Hello, sir.
Good evening. How are you?
How's the day, buddy?
Baruch Hashem, beautiful.
Good to hear it.
Yeah. Getting ready for the next volume, huh? Almost.
Yep.
Yeah.
Getting there.
I'll tell you something interesting. About 45, 50 years ago, my brother, I will show him, his brother-in-law was in business with two other fellows that were making ventures. And he was there with them for a while. They made a small little company. They were making printing ventures for people, that simplest and things like that. He said to them, he says, I don't see a future where we're just making benches, not hard for me. It's, I don't see a future for me. So he left the business, he went on his own and something else. And the name of the company was Art Scroll. He was a partner at Art Scroll about 45 years ago when it first started off. Because he couldn't see a future in printing benches. That's what they started off with. So
Wow.
he was one of the guys, the founders of Art Scroll, which developed, of course, into View, big, but that was their thing. Yeah, never know. Yeah, Art Scroll.
He had vision.
He had vision, yeah. Backwards,
I love how we're all sitting indoors with jackets on.
I don't know why.
Crazy.
Well, you guys are young guys. I'm a little older, so I get a little cold at night, so I put a jacket on. So, I got a down jacket, so really it's not heavy, but it's just light. It's very, very comfortable. It's it's good insulation. But I got one of my deals. I got down jackets. Yeah, so.
Okay, we're on Mem Aleph 41.
Yeah.
Where is Mario? Is he taping this?
Well, he did come on. I was been on for 5 minutes and he wasn't there. Maybe he might have set it up already.
It says recording.
Yeah, so he set it
They
up.
must set it up.
Yeah.
Okay. So the Choser Kol. It says in the Pasuk, in the Tochacha, the Aravarata Soivecha b'Choser Kol, that you will lack everything. You won't have light, you won't have a table. Rav Chizda Amar below Isha. You won't have a wife. Rav Sheshes Amar below Shamish. You won't have somebody to help you. Rav Nachman Amar below Day. You won't have intelligence. Kana below Melech below Revav. You won't have salt or fat to dip your bread in. Amar Abaye Naktinan Ein Ani El B'Deya. True poverty is aniyas hadas, meaning lack of knowledge. B'marava amri, dada be kula be. Somebody who has das has everything. The law dabe ma be. Someone who doesn't have das, what does he have? Da kani ma chosr lo. If he acquires knowledge, he's not lacking anything. Da lo kani, if he doesn't acquire knowledge, ma kani hasn't acquired anything. Rav Alexander and Rav Chia Barava. Ein achoy lo oimid mechol yov, ad shemoichlin lo al kol avonos. A sick person will not get off his sick bed until he has mechila for his avonos. Shenemar, hasoleach lechol avonaichi, haroife lechol tachluachi. First, you have to have slicha for your avonos, then you'll have refuah. That's a pasuk in Tehillim Kuf Gimel. Rav Nuna Amar, Choizer Limei Alumov. He'll even go back to the way he was before. He'll be more healthier than he was before. I mean, getting sick and then getting healed from the sickness will make him stronger than he was before. That could be a concept of, getting immunity. That you're stronger after a sickness than you were before the sickness because you have immunity to future sickness, perhaps. Rav Yosef. Loimar shemishkachas Talmud does. However, I'm sorry. Shenema rootfish psori minor yashuv limei alumov. Then when it says kol mishkavo hafakta b'chol yom, Rav Yosef lomer shemoshcha choyla Talmudav. When a shemishakeach Talmudav, a person when he's sick, he forgets his learning, or he can't forget his learning. This was a famous case by the Amoyra Rav Yosef. Rav Yosef Cholash. Yaakov Talmud, he forgot all of his learning. Ahadria Berkame, Abaya had to reteach Rav Yosef all of the learning. That's why that's why in all Shas, Aminan, Rav Yosef Lashmili Hashmaitza. Many in Shas, a halacha is quoted, and Rav Yosef, I've never heard of that. Amalei Abai, what do you mean? At Amrisa Nialan, Umehamastis Ramisa Nialan. You taught it to us, and you quoted the following barisa from where you got the halacha. Through this mechanism, Abaya retaught Rav Yosef all of his learning. You have a Gomer Rebbe plus Esrei Ape Hilchasa. When Rebbe was learning, he taught himself sort of 13 approaches in halacha, in every sugya. But Rav Chia Shivas Minot, Rav Chia, his prime student, only received 7 from him. And L'Sov Cholash Rebbe got sick, forgot his learning. Ahad Rav Chia Kamehanu Shiva Apedak Marei. Rav Chia retaught Rebbe at least the 7 approaches that Rebbe had taught him, but Shisa Ozdu. But 6 of them, right? Because Rebbe had learned 13. 6 of the approaches had been lost. Havu Ahu Katzra, there was a launderer. Havishmila Rebbe Kidhavagoris Lahu. He had overheard while he was in Rebbe's house. He was hearing Rebbe Choizer and learning the 13 approaches. So the launderer taught Rav Chia the other 6. And then Rav Chia taught the 6 that they both had not learned, that he had not learned, that Rebbe had forgotten, back to Rebbe. So Rebbe ran into this launderer. You made me and Chia because you through you overhearing my limud, you taught it back to us. You remade Chia because you taught Chia the 6 he didn't know. But Chia also see, and Chia resuscitated me. Wow, when a sick person gets healed, it's like a nace bigger than when Chanani and Mishal Vazari were saved from the furnace. That was a fire that was started by human beings. Everyone can put that fire out. The fever of illness comes from heaven. And who can put that fire out? Amr Alexander Mechia Barav Amri La Amr Shubin Levi. Kivan Shigia Kitzur Shol Adam Akol Moishlim Bo. When the end of time comes for a person, he's been granted so many years of life. He reaches that end, so he is under dominance by anybody. Shenema Vayakol Motzai Yargeni. Cain said, anyone who finds me is going to kill me. Once he had a gzeir of mis by Kadosh Baruch Hu, he could not withstand any kind of sorrow. Rav Amar min Adein Kra L'Mishpatecha Amdu Hayom Ki Hakol Avadecha. When you come to your day of Mishpat, so everybody is going to be a servant of Kadosh Baruch Hu to carry out Kadosh Baruch Hu's will that this person should die. So they're the shliach of Kadosh Baruch Hu or the shliach of the Malach HaMaves. Rabbi Bar Shia Amar Le'Shchiv Gavra Gavoa V'Rachiv Girdin Azutrasa. He described the way somebody died. He was a tall guy, Gavoa Hava. Rav Girdin, he was riding a small horse. Mata Titura, they got to a bridge. Istivut, the little horse, was afraid. He sort of bucked and threw him off the rider, and he died. Even though he was a big, tall guy, and this little horse was small. It wasn't a very big fall, but from the height of where he was sitting on the horse to the ground was enough to kill him. He saw this pasuk as well, that Yom HaMishpat, anybody will serve as the shliach of Hashem.
Maybe he drowned. It says maybe it drowned because it says in the river. So he might have drowned.
No, I don't think it's drowned because Ran
He threw him in the river.
Says,
it fell,
Ran says, the Ran says Ishlichu Benar.
Yeah, but the Ran says that,
But the Rashi says that it wasn't such a big fall because
it was small
the
fall.
horse was very low to the ground. He was tall.
Right.
Rashi says the lo nafal ma'at, yet he died. So we don't
It
really
fell a
learn
little.
the Rashi. We learn the Ran, but
yeah.
we have multiple pshat here.
Okay.
Shmuel Chazilahu Krukasa the Akrava, there was a scorpion that was sitting on the back of a frog. That a scorpion can't swim, so he used the frog to get from one side of the river, the Avranar, and Tarka Gavra base, and the scorpion ended up biting a person. The guy died. So can you imagine the scorpion was the shliach of Hashem to get across this river by the frog. So a frog was in his nabin for him in order to, I mean, everything is reckoned to the nth degree. Everything is calculated to the nth degree. You don't visit a choila until his fever is broken. If he's still febrile, you don't visit him. Lafuke mai, lafuke adatanya. That goes against the Brisa. Rabbi Yosef ben Prato ben Shmuel Eliezer. Ein mevakin l'choila meyayin. Someone who has intestinal illness, you don't visit him. V'lo chola ya'ayin. And not somebody who has some kind of eye sickness. V'lo mechushi arosh. And not someone with a headache. It's embarrassing. The guy's got to go up and down to the bathroom. He'd rather not have visitors. What's embarrassing or what's wrong with visiting somebody with eye sickness or headache? Talking with somebody is bad for your eye, but it's good for fever. So that's why it's against the Brisa says visiting somebody and talking to them is good for fever. This illness which has a fever, he loved it from the Malacha de Moisa. if it wasn't for the fact that this disease is part of the mechanism of, he's like a shliach of the Malach HaMavis. Mali kechizr ladikli. Fever is like the grass that surrounds the palm tree, which sort of protects it. And it's interesting the whole point of a fever is to raise the body temperature, and viruses cannot survive at the higher temperature. So it's part of the immune system to defeat the viral invader. And so basically the Gemara seems to understand that. If the fever would only come chad l'tlos and yoimim, it would only come 1 every 30 days. It would be like medicine for the body. Initially, the medicine is a poison, but it helps the refuah.
Benny,
Yes.
sorry, is that a correct analysis? That fever is the thing that saves you? Everybody wants to get the fever down, so why would that be?
Fever is a good thing.
According to
No, according to medical science.
really?
If your fever, you don't want your fever to be 105, 106 because you can get a seizure. If your fever is too high, it can damage the central nervous system. But the mechanism of fever is meant, complement, when an infection occurs, there's a cascade, complement and platelets and white cells and all that. These are all mechanisms, and the rise in temperatures because certain viruses can't survive the higher temperature. So there's a reason why we get a fever. The fever is good, helpful for us.
Okay, square.
Now, if it's too high, so it has to be brought down because it can be too high and it can be damaging. And I'm saying the Gemara seems to chop this a little bit. Now, what's this arson? My arson. This is barley, old barley, that when you use a sieve, it sticks to the bottom of the sieve. And you have to cook it a lot, like you cook the meat of an ox. He's a different shot. He says it's like flour made out of barley. And that also needs bishula kivisra de Torah, that has to be cooked very long, like the meat of an ox. Yochanan, boredom ein mavakrin. The illness called boredom, which is some kind of intestinal illness, you shouldn't visit. Vein maskirin shmo, and you don't even mention that a person has that illness because it's embarrassing to him. My time, he has so much diarrhea. It sounds like cholera because he's got so much liquid diarrhea that he's like a spring. Boredom, like boredom, like a bloody diarrhea. So it may be cholera. Let's see what he says. Bloody diarrhea. Okay. We said if somebody was a mudrana, you can still heal him. So means healing somebody without payment, you're allowed to do. Refuas mom and b'schar, so l'sneachi marpeu bechina v'lo b'schar. Why did you have to come up with this funny language? Refuas nefesh, refuas mamay. El refuas nefesh is gufo. Refuas nefesh means healing his body. Refuas mammon is behemto. Practicing veterinary medicine. You are doing refuah for his asset, which is his animal. That you're not allowed to do because he's a mudarana. But you can give him advice. You can tell him this and this medicine is good for your animal. And it's not considered enough of anah to violate the mudarana status. Now, somebody that cannot benefit from you, you can take a bath with him in a big bathtub of a low big ton, but not in a small one. Because if it's too hot or too cold, your body is going to improve the temperature and you're going to be goyim hano for him. The yashanim of the you can sleep with him in the same bed. But not in wintertime, because the warmth of your body will warm him up. This is like a couch. You can sit down with him on a couch, even in wintertime. You can eat on the same table with them. Tamchui was like a community plate, like a lazy Susan that you put in the middle of the table and everybody shares from it. That you can't eat with him from a shared plate. I'm sorry. A tamchui is a big kli that more than one person eats. However, if the tamchui comes back to the balabos, means it goes around the table, comes back, then you can eat that. You can eat with a tamchui achoizer. Tanya lo yirchatzimo bambati. Can't take a bath with him. V'lo yishanim b'mita. Can't sleep with him in the bed. Bink doyle, bink tano. Whether the bed is big or small, a big bed in wintertime you can because you won't be near him. Even a small bed in summertime mutter. You can bathe with him in a big bathtub. You can sweat with him in a small one. You can sit on a sofa. You can eat with him on the table. Not from a big plate. But the tamchui that travels around to all the people eating and goes back to the balabayas, you can eat. They used to put almost like a trough in front of the workers. So you can't eat from that trough. Lo yasa imon be'uman. You shouldn't work with him in the same furrow in a vineyard. You can, as long as you're not close to him. Now, when you're working with him, the karav lo pligi de asr. There's no machlokas that it's prohibited. He pligi baracho. The machlokas is when you're far. Rab Meir Savar Gazrin Rachel Mishum Karov. If you're working and you're going to come to help him, and you're a mudrano, you can't help him, and you cannot. You're making the dirt softer, making it easier for him to do his work. So you're giving him a no. So Rab Meir's goys, we can't even work with him from a distance because of you might come to do it from a karov. Rabbanan say we don't make the gzeria. Okay.
Sure.
So 6 minutes, we'll have the tour.
Shkoyach, Ernie.
Thank you.